And thanks for joining us for the news. And here is what it is. At least 430,000 students are set to start Ghana's new senior high school system as the Akufo-Addo's government's game-changing education policies continue. And Ghana's double-track education system in senior high schools, schooling now takes the form of a light traffic, or a traffic light, so to speak. Well, green means go. And so students with admission letters marked green have begun enrolling across some 400 senior high schools selected for the new system. But the process has so far not been smooth for most guardians and parents. Well, we sampled views of a couple of them.
With the registration is a bit slower. Well, we were here around 9 to 10, and by now 12 something we are still here, hoping to hear our name, but we are still kicked. So it's very slow. And for the double track, I think the government should do something about that, so that if it can eliminate that double track and also make it as it were at the first, so that it can run smoothly. So that's my expectation, that government should do something about this double track, so that the system will be okay.
Well, not everybody is an naysayer though. Others, however, are willing to give the new system a try.
As it is, as a parent, I think, as my colleague said earlier on, change is good, but it depends on the type of change that you are talking about. This particular change we see, yes, the concept, the brain behind is such a way that if really it is due to the fact that students, majority of students should be able to have access to education, then that is positive. That is positive. But then let's also consider the period. When I say period, I'm talking about the timetable, the curriculum. Can the teachers cope? That is where we should be looking at. If the teachers will be giving some sort of training as and when or how to do things in order to make sure that academically students are nothing is taken out of them so far as academic knowledge is concerned, then I don't see any problem with it.
Meanwhile, the headmistress of the Twene Amanfo Secondary Technical School is worried delays in registration could also affect academic work should parents and students delay in completing their registration on time.
You look at the number now, those who have come for their admission forms and their other documents, I don't think they can even be up to 200. So they want to take their time to come. If this happens, it will also affect teaching and learning in the school. So I was discussing with my assistant head academics that if tomorrow the number reporting is not encouraging, then we will go on air and tell the parents to come, because we are using 41 weeks to teach the first track, that's green track, and the same number. So if you delay, we cannot add to.
Now, the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Hajia Alima Mahama, has descended strongly on district and municipal chief executives allegedly involved in illegal mining. Now, the local government minister is threatening to expose and sack all of those involved. She says reports of DCE's and MCE's involvement in Galamsey is a major drawback to government's fight against the menace across the country. Hajia Alima Mahama was speaking at a conference on government's roadmap to lifting the ban on illegal mining. Kingsley Otu's report has more.
1st April 2017, a moratorium was placed on all artisanal and small-scale mining operations throughout the country, to deal with the canker of illegal mining activities across the country. In August 2018, government launched a roadmap towards lifting the ban on small-scale mining. Speaking at the conference, local government minister Hajia Alima Mahama confirmed allegations that some district chief executives are engaged in illegal mining, though they are key players in the implementation of the policy.
When we come out with a policy, you are to act local. The action has to be local. So you then have to give a message to the people by your actions that we mean business and we are serious about it. But if through your attitude and your actions, the people feel that we are not serious about it, that means the policy was not going to go far. The implementation is going to be thwarted. Why should any of you be engaged in Galamsey? Why? Whatever you do, the chief of staff, the president, they will know. Even when you say a word, they will know. So you cannot do something and feel that you can sneak. And you know, reports come. So if we get a report about you, Galamsey, we are not even going to call you to ask you.
Chief of Staff Frema Osei Opare says government has so far trained 3,000 artisanal and small-scale miners in sustainable mining and mineral processing to sanitize the industry.
As of August 2018, 3,000 artisanal and small-scale miners had been trained in sustainable mining and mineral processing practices at the University of Mines and Technology, Takwa. The university has also trained 18 men from Operation Vanguard and 15 staff of the Minerals Commission in drone piloting and data analysis.
Chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Mining and Minister for Environment, Professor Kwabna Frempong Boateng, is still tight-lipped on when government intends to lift the ban on illegal mining.
We are not talking about the lifting of the ban. We are talking about a roadmap. So when we have fulfilled the parameters outlined in the roadmap, then the ban will be lifted. As of now, nobody can tell you exactly when it will be lifted, because we are in the process of vetting the miners, and it's going on very well. We are also assembling the excavators to be tagged electronically, and these are the process that we are going through, and when we are done, then the president will give us the date that the ban will be lifted.
Kingsley Otto's report for JoyNews.
Well, let's do some concentration on the law. And the president of the Ghana Bar Association, Benson Nuchukwi, is recommending punitive action against High Court judges who deliver outrageous judgments. According to him, some judges deliver questionable judgments not befitting their high office. He was speaking at the 2018 annual conference of the Ghana Bar Association held in the Eastern Regional Capital, Koforidua, and it's from where Maxwell Kudeko now reports.
The Bar Association president observed that the competence of some High Court judges has been called into question in recent times and called on the Judicial Council to strengthen the High Court bench. Benson Nuchukwi says some High Court judges deliver outrageous judgment not befitting the high office of a High Court judge. According to him, the Chief Justice has on some occasions been forced to step in.
The practice of frequently assigning Court of Appeal judges as additional High Court judges in most cases to handle perceived high-profile cases entrenches the impression of a weak High Court bench. The association wished to commend the Judicial Council on the approval of the new criteria for appointment and promotion of judges and magistrates, which reverts to the old, tried, tested and reliable method of elevation of practitioners to the superior bench on the recommendation of their peers, specifically the Bar and the Attorney General, or on the invitation of the Chief Justice.
The conference is being held under the theme, The Impact of Technology on the Practice of Law to Move with the Changing Times. It was attended by high-profile personalities including Attorney General Gloria Ekufu and President Akufo-Addo, who charged the Ghana Bar Association and the judiciary to contribute to government's efforts to check indiscipline in the country. He observed the main cause of Ghana's problems has to do with a deficit in application of the rule of law. President Akufo-Addo also underscored the need to inculcate technology in the delivery of justice in Ghana.
The law is not keeping pace with technology. The age-old missing dockets syndrome and endless litigations in the country typify our situation. Harnessing the power of technology in the justice delivery system is critical if we are to maintain the confidence of the Ghanaian people and thereby shore up our nation's reputation as the country governed in accordance with the rule of law.
Acting Chief Justice His Lordship Julius Ansah hinted the Judicial Service will soon roll out what he calls the e-Justice project aimed at inculcating technology in the justice delivery system. The e-Justice project will allow electronic filing of cases, online payment of fees and fines, tracking of cases online, among other services. The e-Justice project is expected to be piloted at some courts in Accra and later extended to the regions. The project is also expected to reduce the incidence of judicial corruption.
Now, the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is facing a revolt from industry players over the implementation of the straight levy regime. Under the new regime, the VAT tax rate, which was previously inclusive of the two taxes, reduces from 17.5% to 12.5%. However, the 5% will be split into two and applied directly to the cost of products and services and paid directly to the NHIL and Get Fund accounts. But the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, says that the new regime will result in hikes in the cost of goods and services, rising by up to 20% for consumers. The AGI has also called for an urgent meeting with Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta over the matter. Let's give you a breakdown of what the AGI is saying.
I remember today, the final funeral rites will begin. That's for the former UN Secretary General, Kofi Annan, and we will be live from the Accra International Conference Center. The general public today, though, is allowed to file past the body from 10 a.m. We'll bring you a lot more interactions, previews about what the event looks like. You remember the body came into the country at 4 p.m. yesterday from Switzerland, Geneva, as it is. And the body was accompanied by his wife, Maria, children, and some UN officials. It was received by a high-powered delegation led by the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Aisha Ibrahim was at the airport when Ms. Annan's body touched down.
The UN aircraft carrying the body of the former UN chief touched down at the Kotoka International Airport at 17:30 GMT Monday. It was accompanied by his wife, Nani Maria Annan, children, some family members and UN officials. The body was met at the Kotoka International Airport by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and several government officials. The public will be allowed to file past and pay their last respect at the Accra International Conference Center on Tuesday, while a solemn burial service and final interment will be held on Thursday. Ahead of that, some dignitaries have been eulogizing the late Kofi Annan.
I remember him for the reforms that he made in the United Nations administrative structure and system itself, so as to make it more efficient. Of course, because he knew it very, very well. And also for his work on development in the developing world, including the Millennium Challenge account and all other such measures, issues relating to gender and children in particular, and also for peacekeeping.
His very calm nature, the fact that in Africa he became the calming force whenever there was election and there was the threat of post-election violence or even pre-election violence. Somebody who we were all very proud of.
He was the diplomat, and the world will forever fondly miss him for introducing the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals, which has now become the Sustainable Development Goals. And as the world fights to improve poverty, to ameliorate and reduce poverty, improve sanitation,
well, and we'll give him a befitting burial. We've already started from 4 p.m. yesterday. Was a great startup of an event. It's a celebration for us because Kojo, the man, was important not only to Ghana but to the world.
Indeed, we heard Haruna Idrisu describe him as a diplomat's diplomat. I spoke to James Victor Gbeho, a man who knew Kofi Annan from all the way back in the 60s, and I learned amazing things about the man. What you saw was what you got. He was always a soft-spoken, thoughtful, careful man.
Like you and I.
Indeed, who steered the world in the right direction at a time when it needed it most. His achievements, of course, will be celebrated more and more in the coming weeks. All of it right here on the Joy News channel. But later today, of course, we'll bring you details of that conversation I had with James Victor Gbeho. What a learning experience it was, you know. It's one of those encounters that I'll happily tell my children about. A great man, a great man.
Well, soft-spoken Kojo, that's it for now. We will be soft-speaking when we have the interaction as we review the newspapers and look at myjournline.com.